Today's sponsor is Shure. Legendary performance, legendary microphones, innovative audio electronics, and much more. Visit them at shure.com. Joining us today on the Culture Catch, somewhere downtown at Blue Ribbon Studios. Very downtown. Yeah. We're very honored to have one of my favorite new singer-songwriters, although he's been doing it for a while, but I'm new to discover him, Alexi Murdoch. Formerly of Glasgow, then of LA for a short period of time. Now he's back in Glasgow. Mm-hmm. Alexi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man.
We want to hear a song and then we'll get into it.
All right. I've been searching all of my days, many a road, you know, I've been walking on all of my days, and I've been trying to find what's been in my mind as the days keep turning into night. Well, I have been quietly standing in the shade all of my days. Watch the sky breaking on the promise that we made. All of this rain, and I've been trying to find what's been in my mind as the days keep turning into night. Well, many a night I've found myself with no friends standing near all of my days. I cried aloud, I shook my hands at what I'm doing here all of these days. For I look around me and my eyes confound me, and it's just too bright as the days keep turning into night. Now I see clearly it's you I'm looking for all of my days. So a smile, I know I'll feel this loneliness no more all of my days. For I look around me and it seems you found me, and it's coming into sight as the days keep turning into night, as the days keep turning into night. And even breathing feels alright. Yes, even breathing feels alright. Now even breathing feels alright. Yes, even breathing feels alright.
Well done.
Thank you, man.
Well done. Did you always go it alone as a musician, or were you in a band, or did you just early on decide that the bard's voice had to be solo?
No, actually, it was more like, you know, I started doing this on my own, and then kind of slowly found other people. Like, I never aspired to really be in a band, or it wasn't my thing. I just figured this was something for me, and I'd write, you know, books or something. And then I got out and started playing kind of by accident, really, and it sort of took off from there. So yeah, no, I've never really played with a band up until recently, you know, that sort of pulling people together, which is really exciting, but it definitely comes from a place of sort of, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, kind of on my own kind of thing. Yeah.
So you had literary aspirations initially. Were you always a writer, a poet, study literature?
Yeah, I did. You know, I went to college and did all that, and you know, was into that for a while, and then eventually, it's funny because as I moved further towards music, all that stuff started to seem a little too heady.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And you know, so when I started writing songs, it was like I had that same approach. You know, that sort of quite collegiate, sort of academic approach, like trying to be clever in the lyricism and all that kind of thing. And yeah, that's, hopefully I've kind of moved away from that quite a bit.
Well, it's also, when you put a guitar into a different tuning, when you take it out of a traditional tuning, and you have a wonderful baritone voice like you do.
Oh man, thank you. Making me blush, man.
Well, that's all right. That's what we do here. We want the ladies to see the sensitive side of you, Alexi. If they haven't got that from the music.
Right.
But, you know, a lot of names have been bantered about this year when the record got released. The Nick Drakes, the Roy Harpers.
Right.
Who were your music idols when you were coming up? Did you have any, really?
Well, see, that's what's weird, is I didn't really. I mean, like, I've always been into music, but I grew up, you know, sort of out of the mainstream quite a ways, you know, in Scotland, and so I wasn't part of that. I think in a way I escaped a lot of that sort of pop culture sort of ideology.
Those cliches that might influence you.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm obviously influenced by everything I've heard, and but I never focused on any one thing and thought, oh, you know, that's what I want to do. I wasn't the kid that had like posters up in my room, and, like, you know. I mean, honestly, I think the moment that I remember a kind of definitive moment early on, I was probably, you know, like 14, 15. I remember hearing Pink Floyd for the first time. And that definitely did something to me at that point, because it's sort of, but no, it wasn't like I didn't aspire, like, I didn't look at troubadours and think like, wow, you know, I want to be like that at all, no.
Well, you mentioned something interesting when you talk about literary references. You know, I think it's increasingly more and more difficult for songwriters to find inspiration because, you know, they say that there's only so many words you can use, only so many rhyming couplets that exist. You know, you've got guys like Dylan who've done it, you know, who still do it and maintain that high level of professionalism. When someone like you comes along who offers a fresh perspective, I mean, it must be very flattering for you to, you know, to be held up to that scrutiny and to be able to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it can get sort of, when I start thinking about it that way, thanks a lot, it kind of freaks me out.
Well, I mean, Nick Harcourt, who's a friend of mine, you know, he championed your cause early on.
He did.
He's incredibly influential in America.
Yeah, no, that was, it's funny because I just sort of, you know, like the way it happened so quick. And I mean, we're talking about 4 years ago here. I literally, like 4 years ago, I was out playing open mics in LA, and I had this inkling that, like, if I could get him some music, that he might dig it. And so when he came to a gig, actually by accident, he was there to see somebody else, and he came up to me after and he's like, "Hey man, so I really like your stuff," and I kind of like, I was like, "Oh man, I knew you would." It's like, no, don't take it the wrong way. It's not like I got a big ego or anything.